Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to my service learning project. I did it at El Nido Montessori Preschool. Alright. And my responsibilities were to help organize the kids into the groups and the activities that they were doing, help wake them up after nap time, and help pick up after them, once they had eaten. So, classroom dynamics. Let's see. All right, so it was generally preschool age, which is 3 to 6 years old. There was about 30 kids to the classroom, which is actually not very Montessori of them. There was mixed SES in the classroom, and I made observations based on the differences that I noticed within how the genders played. All right. So, on to my first observation, which was that boys are more authoritarian while they play. They're more likely to demand things from other boys and kind of like order them to do something, and also they're more receptive to those orders depending on the leadership role and kind of which kid was the most hyperactive one, and they would usually tend to circle around that one. And their play is way more based on spontaneity and used to their gross motor skills, so they would be really physical about it. Alright. So, the research for my first observation was a study conducted during 2007 in a long daycare center with 22 children, which were from 3 to 4 years old, and in 2008 in a kindergarten with 47 children in Australia. Alright, and the results were that there tends to be a hierarchy to the way the boys play specifically. So, like I said before, what I noticed previously from my observations anyway, was there was the really hyperactive kid who was the leader, or the ringleader to all the other kids, and then they would kind of follow him based off that. They also tend to make way more direct commands to others, and made verbal threats or used physical force with their peers during play. And they were also way less likely to be able to resolve their conflicts. Alright. My second observation, girls are way more directorial during play. So what I noticed was that they like things to be smoother. They not so much the spontaneity, wanting to go outside, hey, let's move around, hey, let's run around. No, not as hyperactive necessarily. So they focus way more on fine motor skills. So it would be, drawing, and kind of like playing house, which is there's like the theatrical element to it too, that the boys wouldn't necessarily play into too much, and they were way more likely to be receptive to the others within the group during the play. So any ideas that like one other person might have, they'd be willing to partake in during the play episode is what I read it was called. Alright. So, in the research for my second observation, I used the same study as previously mentioned. So it was the same study conducted in 2007 in Australia and in 2008 with the 47 children and the 22 in the first. And the results are that girls tend to have a way more cooperative approach during play, incorporating the ideas of others into the play, and girls were more willing to make compromises to keep the play episode going. Alright. On to my third observation, girls were more nurturing and attentive to the emotional well-being of the others within the play group, often preferring smaller groups. So the boys, what I noticed, let me finish off here. Girls had a distinct advantage over the boys in their ability to use their words to communicate their ideas and grievances, and boys tended to collect into bigger groups to play, often using their physicality to express themselves. So girls would just be more empathetic to their smaller groups, so it was always a little more controlled for the girl groups, whereas the guys, I noticed, they'd be running around in there and following all of each other in this one kind of big group, and I noticed that the boys were way more likely to separate themselves from the girls, and the girls were to separate themselves from the guys. So girls definitely had a less difficult time integrating with the boys. So, third observation, and the research for my third observation, my bad, secondary research paper from the University of Nebraska that was written in 2001. Girls have a better command of language at an earlier age, allowing them to express their ideas relatively well and communicate their ideas to reach a common understanding. By the age of 4, boys begin to show a preference for large group interactions with other boys and even take an active role in maintaining the boys' separation from the girls. Boys tend to monopolize play space and materials and to use a confrontational and physical style intended to secure them access to what they want. Girls seek a smoothly flowing style of play and interaction. They can be observed easily taking turns and incorporating one another's words and ideas into play, and they readily adjust the noise and activity level of their play to the context they are in. That's definitely something else I noticed, was that the girls were more well behaved, depending on what was expected of them in the context, and the boys were rowdy. It's the best way I could put it. Alright, and my conclusion, my observations were supported by my research. The girls were more oriented towards the desires of the group, and they were inclined to be cooperative. Boys were inclined towards hierarchy during play, and were usually more direct and demanding. So they had their ringleader, and they followed him, and that was the play. And girls preferred play that included fine motor skills, like I said, writing, drawing. And then the boys preferred physical play that involved their gross motor skills, so more physical things like running and then climbing the monkey bars and all that stuff. Alright, my experience, I honestly had such a good time doing this. I did not expect to have such a good time doing this. I've never really worked with kids this way, so hands-on before, and I didn't think I would appreciate it as much as I did, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely feel more equipped to be a parent one day, for as much as that might have prepared me. I don't think it actually would have, ooh, wow, ready to be a parent. But I definitely learned patience and an appreciation for kids that I didn't have before. We were all there one day. All right. That's it. Thank you so much.